So it, it is discussing about automatic indexing. So 500, Mishra, Ankita. Is that everything is fine? Hello? Hello? Okay, then fine. Let's start. So today we are going to start with the unit third, okay? And in this unit third, you will have various concepts which is going to discuss about the automatic indexing, as well as the another concept is about the clustering. So this unit is divided into two parts. One is discussing about automatic indexing, and secondly it is discussing about what is automatic indexing. Okay, the first question that is coming in your mind is, already we have covered in second unit that indexing are of two types. So one is manual and the secondly it is automatic. So the job of indexing process is nothing but to provide users information with less efforts. Okay, so if we do indexing, definitely the time which is required to catch up that information or to get that information is going to reduced, and you will get the correct indexed information. So for that sake, indexing is going to be get performed. So while doing this indexing, we do index information by making use of three classes of indexing. Okay, that is nothing but the statistical indexing, natural language indexing, concept indexing, and hypertext linkage. Hypertext linkage is a special class of indexing. Have a look at this line. Okay, so automatic indexing, and followed inside that there will be three classes to perform the indexing. That is nothing but divided into statistical, natural language, and concept indexing. A special class of indexing is also there associated with the automatic indexing, that is called as hypertext linkages. So as we discussed, indexing is our process to find the information or to locate the information. So at the back end, definitely whatever the data or words or documents are going to be available at the server end, huge information that should be get indexed. So a formal definition is given as automatic indexing is the process of analyzing an atom to extract the information to be permanently kept in a index. So every information is indexed, and this process helps us to find out that information, the particular query which client has kept, that information is going to be available. So how does this can be get accessible? So already we have discussed several data structures which helps us to locate this information by using the indexing approach, such as n-gram indexing, pad data structures, and signature file structure, as well as your various streaming approach. So all that is a part of indexing which helps us to get this information available at the display purpose. So if we look at this is a standardized diagram of information processing system. So in this diagram, we do have anything which we are going to have information which is going to be get collected at the server end is going to be standardized. Now what is the meaning of standardization? Standardization means it follows some uniformity. Uniformity in the sense, like whatever the information which is going to available at the server end, which will come from different different sources and different remote locations. Okay, those different remote locations are nothing but like the data. is generated either from any country. It can be Russian, or it can be Indian, or it can be Chinese, or it can be from any country across the world. So then, or maybe the language also which they use may differ. So why not we should make a computer standardization by making use of a Unicode data representation. So if we use the Unicode data representation, so everywhere across the world, whichever the language you have chosen, it is going to be get converted, and then it is going to be available across the world, so as to access that information, so as to view that and get available all across the world. So information is going to be get standardized. That is called as standardizing input. Okay, so that is called as standardizing input. Or any like nowadays images are there, so multiple, why should we have multiple formats? So instead of multiple format like PNG and any other thing, we can take one standard format, suppose JPEG. So which is more better, that format we should consider for our representation purpose of images, or for video we should use motion picture expert group. So some standardization, some common uniqueness format should be get used for representing any sort of information, either a text or a video, audio, or any sort of information which can be get available across at the end of a server. So that's why we do standardizing input. Then followed by that, there is a term called as logical subsetting. Logical subsetting is also known as zoning. Okay, zoning means dividing the information, okay, into particular aspect. Like I'm showing you here you PowerPoint presentation. So it does not look good if we did not follow any proper structure. So it even though it follows a certain rules, like it will have a title, and we should be appearing in a more greater font, and then followed by that a text is going to be there. So likewise, any information, any document which is available across the network, um, so that will have special contents. Okay, so that will be get understood by having a proper title, or we can able to redefine our search with the help of author name, or a specific abstract is going to be get divided separately, main text is going to be get divided separately, subheadings are going to be get divided separately, diagrams are going to be get divided separately, tables are going to be separated, references and bibliography, conclusion, okay, any keywords which has been used. So all this particular information is going to be get breaked, okay, so that it is easy to understand and easy to access. So it should able to follow certain proper structure, that is nothing but called as logical subsetting or zoning. And the third one is identify processing tokens. So identify processing tokens means what? Tokens are here nothing but called as the words, or you can say text. Okay, so in the text, whether it is a valid word or not, okay, uh, does it, is it a meaningful word which is available in the dictionary, or is it a combination of more than two words, which maximum sometimes, rarely we do use two words separated by the hyphen. So is that the interword, or is that any special symbol has been used? The special symbol will also have some meaning. Okay, suppose at the rate symbol is there, so it indicates some address of, okay, operator, or and is there, so it means that it is going to perform, if we use the symbol means anding operation. So every special symbol will have a specific meaning associated with it. Suppose negation, exclamatory mark if we are using, so it does have some special meaning. So like we are going to identify the processing tokens means unique words, then words which are separated by a hyphen, as well as some special symbol. Then we come to apply certain filter. Okay, so filters for the words are nothing but the stop list. What is stop list? If you consider any paragraph or any text, there you notice that lot of means for the sentence formation we require a particular grammar, so we will use is, the, are, to, its, the, like that, this. Okay, so these sorts of the words are going to be get removed, so that the normalization, or we can say that content reduction is going to be get performed. For that sake we do apply some stop list algorithm. So only main words we are going to consider which do discuss about some context. So we will try to remove irrelevant words such as its, has, but, the, and. Okay, like this short words we are going to remove. So that is called as applying the stop list algorithm. And then we will come towards the characterizing tokens. So in characterizing tokens, after applying the stop list, like here we need to understand every information which is going to come, if the word is same also, which may have a different meaning. Suppose your name can be a country name also, so that understanding of uniqueness of the words or phrases, that should be over there. Or a date is going to be this, normal numbering and the date should be get separated. So for that sake we require to characterize the tokens. Okay, so this sort of, or any name is going to be there, so name should start with a capital case. Likewise you need to understand. Okay, so likewise you need to characterize the tokens. Tokens are nothing but the any information or any words, text words, those are called as tokens. Then we apply the steaming. We have seen steaming, how to apply. We will use a Porter steamer algorithm, like for avoiding the suffixes, right? So any information uh, is going to be considered, like suppose shun word we will use at the end, or it we will use, or ies we will use. Okay, so those extra in we are going to remove, and we are just noting down only the root word. So that is job of the stemming algorithm. So likewise we can able to create a data structure. This now, this will be the answer for, so this will be the answer for your user query. So whenever a user will be sitting at his end, he can able to browse from any browser. So he will fire a query. So at this end, this process do takes place. So this process is nothing but all left hand side portion comes under the your indexing part. Okay, this process is called as the indexing process. Okay. um, So left hand side part is called as the indexing. So whenever the user will fire a particular query, all the information which is going to be available at the net, at the server end, which follows this protocol from standardizing input, zoning, and then identifying the tokens, applying stop list filter, and characterizing tokens, and steaming, creating searchable data structure, and then it is going to available to the user. If the answer is available, then it is called as hit list. Okay, hit list means the correct query answer has been received. That is called as hit list, and it is going to be get updated into the server end document file. Okay, so this is nothing but the entire information processing system. How does information is going to be get processed at the server end when we fire the query? Okay, by making use of your hypertext transmit protocol, you do specify any query that is going to be get addressable at the backend in the information retrieval system through this manner, right? So this is nothing but your approach that you do follow for getting answer, or your query should be get satisfied. So this is all about the information processing system. Now coming towards the your automatic indexing. So as we discuss here, this part is called as, all this comes under the left hand side portion is called as indexing. And automatic indexing provides us access for information. So it is broken into three classes: statistical, natural language, concept. Okay, and higher one version is the hypertext linkage. So if we are talking about the statistical strategy, so what is the statistical strategy talking about? Okay, how does it work? So that we will see today. So in statistical approach, okay, in a statistical approach, we do discuss about the concept of probability. Okay, or the common term that for easy understanding is nothing but how many times the particular words are appearing in the text. This concept is going to be get considered. Okay, so number of the times the words appear, that is called as repetition or frequency. We will use the standard term as a frequency. So the basis for, or the importance for statistical indexing is nothing but the frequency of occurrence of processing tokens. Frequency of occurrence of processing tokens within a document or within a database. So at the server end, lot of files will be there. Those files will be uh, of any length or size. Okay, and in that maybe a particular word is repeating many number of the times. So likewise the statistics is going to be get maintained. So statistical is nothing but a numerical entity in which we do have a count of elements or count of words or phrases. Right. So this is a very commonly used technique known as the statistical indexing for commercial systems and all. And so the key over here is count. Count means nothing but within a given document. Okay, there for your search there can be any number of documents available, and within that document how many times the query word which you have kept is appearing. Okay, that is called as frequency of occurrence of processing token. So on this concept your statistical strategy is based. To solve this statistical strategy, okay, it can be get solved or with the help of approaches such as with the help of probability, Bayesian, vector space or neural net. So more oftenly probability, Bayesian and vector space model is going to get used for satisfying your statistical strategy or statistical indexing class. What approaches? Probability, Bayesian and vector space. So in your study all are there in this unit. So statistical approach, as we discussed, statistic means definitely a numeric figure, a count. Okay, so it based onto the same concept, how often each words occur in an atom. Item can be anything. It can be a text, it can be a document, it can be blog, it can be paragraph, it can be book, or it can be any information which is available. Okay, so that is termed as your item. So how many times the query which you have fired, those words are appearing in the backend available data or documents. That is nothing but statistical approach. So it is based on to the probability theory as well as it is based on to the Bayesian and vector space model. So probability theory calculates the relevance. Okay, depends on to the concept of probability. So we will see this today, what is probability indexing. Okay, and and Bayesian and vector space models are also get used for statistical approach, which depends on to the confidence level, means the particular word divided by the count of words. So for this different formulas are going to be there. For probability indexing we do use different formula. So or vector space also follows different approach. So this all in statistical approach we are going to study. So statistical approach focuses on to the probability indexing, Bayesian and vector space. It can be get performed. Okay, statistical indexing can be get performed by making use of probabilistic as well as Bayesian and vector space model. The another class of indexing, as we discussed, there are three classes of the indexing. One is nothing but your automatic indexing, and the second, in the automatic indexing, you will have three classes. One is the statistical indexing, second one is natural language. Okay, so natural language means your English language. Okay, so in statistic, you can able to focus more on to the terms associated with your uh, numbers or a count or exactly numeric values we do talk. But when do we comes across the natural language means English language, we are focusing on to the semantics, onto its grammar. Okay, certain past, present, future tense and all those actions are going to be get considered. So for English language, natural language, some specific rules are going to be there to enhance your accuracy, so that we are going to see. And the third approach is nothing but concept indexing. The it can be get performed automatic indexing by three ways commonly, or the common classes of automatic indexing are statistical indexing, natural language indexing, and the concept indexing. So in natural language indexing, we can able to use the semantics associated with the English language concepts such as grammatical part and all those things. Whereas with the statistics, we will have the numerical values. And coming across this neural network, it focus on the concept. Okay, means understanding whether it is associated with the education field, or is it associated with an engineering field. In education also different categories or concepts will be there. So actually dealing the information depends on to the concept. It can be commerce field, it can be arts field, it can be engineering education, or it can be any other sort of education. So understanding the concept, here we do discuss more onto the concept, whether the particular whatever the information is available, is it onto the same topic or not. If I talk table, now table, if I use this word, it is very brief word and it will have several meanings. So in what context table has been used, in which concept table has been used, is it discussing about the furniture table, or is it discussing about the your table which is used for data representation. Okay, so likewise, so concept need to be get matched. Concept indexing, for carrying out this concept indexing, you require to use the neural network approach. Okay, so neural network performs dynamic learning or dynamic pattern solving. So concept indexing makes use of the neural networks. So its job is to relate concept. Okay, what you have asked the query and with the document. Okay, and the one more class is there, that is called as a special class of indexing known as the hypertext linkage. Okay, so this is also one of the special class of indexing, means having a linkage, or if you would like to go in a more broader or more depth manner, then you can go for the hypertext linkages. Okay, so this linkage provides the virtual threads of the concept between atom directly defined within an atom. So many times it is not going to be possible at a single glance you will get the entire information. If you don't know that term, you can broaden it, and like we do call it as another thread or process is going to be get activated, which gives the depth information or the meaning of that particular term, or where it has been used, what is its purpose. So another page is going to pop up. So likewise, you will have this use of hypertext linkage, means not all information is going to be get available at one glance. So we will try to provide a link. From there you are going to be get diverted to the to its brief information, such as in Wikipedia, like that, or anywhere maximum times, so as that page should look attractive at those who are good knowledgeable users. They will understand those terms, but who are novices, for them definitely they need to search its meaning. So at that time it is going to get specified in details. So every techniques, there are four techniques actually to perform the automatic indexing. One is statistical approach, the other one is your uh, after the statistical approach, natural language approach. Third one is the concept approach, and the fourth one is hypertext linkage, which we are going to see in the coming portions. So every approach will have its own weakness. Okay, so as well as they may be good at some extent. So first approach is nothing but the statistical indexing. So today we will see in the statistical indexing. This is also lengthy topic. In statistical indexing, as we discussed, statistics is showing you the count, okay, the number or count or figures. So that is going to be obtained depends on to the times, okay, how many times the particular term is available in the document. And this number of the times count is called as frequency, standard term that will be used. So it uses the frequency of occurrence of events to calculate the number to indicate the relevance of an atom. Relevance means matching. Any information we do try to find whether it is matching, whether it is correct information or not. So it depends, this measure statistical indexing depends on to the frequency of occurrence of events. Okay. So, as of all you know that the term frequency algorithm can be get used. So, as we discussed that frequency of occurrence of event. So, event is nothing but the term. Okay. So, how much time the count? So that is going to be get available here with the help of the frequency term algorithm. So either you will have the information or you may not have the information. Okay, so that is going to be, if information is available, if it is the correct information, then it is called as the hit file, okay, or the correct information which you have received. So this is nothing but the statistical approach. In statistical indexing, first approach is probability weighing and followed by the vector weighing. Can be also used in vector weighing. You will have this special algorithms. There's also, we will study everything. So simple term frequency algorithm, inverse document frequency algorithm, signal weighing, discrimination values, and what are the problems associated with vector scheme, that also will be going to get discussed, and Bayesian model. So as we all discussed that the statistical indexing uh, focuses onto the frequency of occurrence of the words in a document that is available at the server end for your query. So onto that concept, statistical approach is based, which can be get covered with the help of probabilistic or Bayesian or with the help of vector models. So today we will see probabilistic weighing. So in probability is nothing but for whom we are going to get calculate the probability for the any collection. It can be any connection, large written collection, or otherwise audio input or voice input. So written as well as spoken text. So that may vary. It can be a simple paragraph, it can be a two-page contents, or it can be multiple page contents. If it is a magazine, so nearly 60 to 80 page like that, or if it is a book, it may vary from 100 to 1000 pages. So likewise, contents are going to be there available on the net, and here probability system calculates the probability value. Okay, depends on to the text is available within that document. It may vary, okay, for a particular document. For the search you are keeping, the number of the times repetitions happens about that is varies. So it is based on to the concept of a probability theory or probability algorithm. Okay, so probability theory or probability algorithm, so which will make use of one principle called as probability ranking principle. Okay, what does this says that when you fire a particular query, okay, and you will get some answer. So this answers list, whichever you are going to get, it should be in a decreasing order. Means first you should get the correct information. Okay, because naturally the client who is sitting at the front desk, who will try to check out the answer, will have this information. Okay, will have the look at the system at the front. Okay, so at that, from the top he will like to look at the information. So at the topmost you should able to get the correct relevant answer, and then then it should be coming into the decreasing order of importance. Means whatever the query which you fired should be get answered in the either first two, three, or four links maximum. Any user will try to open first page links only, and then Google will have so it will continue. But maximum times in the first page only, user should get the satisfaction. So that is what is discussing over here. So it is talking about the response. If the reference retrieval system response to each request is a ranking of the documents in order of decreasing probability of usefulness to the user. Okay. So this is what the probability ranking principle talks about. Depends on the data which is available. There also at the server end data which is going to be available, depends on that it talks. So this all plausible corollary. This is also the word. Okay. So whichever the technique that we are using for probability theory and statistic. Okay. So for giving the output, or that is called as rank. Output ranking means giving the weightage that this document is matching with the maximum terms, or maximum terms are appearing in this document. So this is the mostly approachable or most relevant or most correct document in the concept. So that will be get given first, or which is the latest document, or which has been reviewed, or which has been feedback from the customer maximum number of the time, or otherwise which can be what do we say, which can be considered from the user end or viewed. Okay, so depends on to the access time, the particular how many number of the people use that particular documents for how much time. That all information is going to be get available at the server end, and depends on that ranking is going to be get performed. So definitely the answer is two. Either the contents which are going to pop up will be relevant, or they may not be relevant. So either it is correct information or may not be correct information. So if the data is available at the server end, then the information is going to be available to the client. So so how does it works? Okay, so here we are going to use one model. Okay, so what is this model? So your query which you fire, that is called as the query QI. Okay, in the information retrieval system, by making use of any search engine, if you are going to fire the query, it is called as query QI. And the document that which you are where the answers are available, there can be a number of documents to satisfy your query. So those are called as the documents. Okay, and it will have the set of attributes. So what are these sets of attributes? So sets of attributes are nothing but counts of the term frequency in the query. Okay, so this set of attributes are v1 to vn. So counts in the query, counts in the documents, and count in the database. These are called as the set of attributes. Which are called as the set of attributes? Counts in the query. Okay, how many times in your query the words are appearing, and in the document, okay, there are multiple documents. So vi to vn is been used for all this purpose. So query qi, document di, and vi to vn are nothing but the called as your attributes. Okay, so these attributes are nothing but counts of the term frequency in the query, as well as counts of the term frequency in the document, as well as from any database. Okay, so randomly any information we do consider it is relevant. So look at this expression. So it is going to be get defined in terms of logarithmic. Okay, so how to read this relevance calculations, whether it is justifiable to your query. So logarithmic of odds of relevance. Okay, this brackets are there, so we should read it as of logarithmic of odds of relevance for the term tk. Okay, term tk means particular word, okay, that is called as term tk. For the query qi, the query which you fired, that is called as qi in the document dj. Okay, so that can be as a coefficient of with the various v1 to vn. V1 to vn are nothing but the terms, nothing but the attributes. The number of the times the particular term is appearing in the query, or number of the times the particular term is appearing in the database, or it is appearing in a document. Those are called as v1 to vn. Now these are going to be get sum. Okay, so sum of log odds for all the terms. So this log of odds for the obtaining the relevance, okay, for the query qi within the document dj is given as summation of all elements. Okay, and here we are having a special, okay, this is as it is log of or for the query qi in the document dj for the term tk, minus here this is one given log of o of r. So this log of o of r is called as a random. Okay, random value which has been selected, that is matching to your query. Okay, so that is called as log of o of r. And then so this we are saying it is relevant. Okay, then inverse is going to be get considered. So inverse means the same term we are going to obtain its inverse like this. Okay, so inverse will give you the probability of relevance of the query term in the document dj is going to be get obtained as an inverse of log of o of r of the query term I with the document dj. So these concepts can be get used to for identifying the document term relevance within your document. So if we, more than that, the relative frequency concepts also can be get used. Some scientists has used the relative frequency concept. So relative frequency of the query is called as QRF. Relative frequency in the document, for the document or in the document, is termed as DRF. Also there will be the single document means it is called as DRF. Okay, and if we are having the relative frequency of the terms in all documents, okay, in all documents means what does it indicate? RFAD. So relative frequency of all documents is termed as RFAD. Okay, so for briefing of this information, we do represent now it with a zj. Okay, what is the variable name has been used? Zj. So logarithmic of odds of the particular means for specifying the relevance. R indicates the relevance, or O is the model, okay, that we are using over here. For the term Tj is nothing but now it is going to consider all these terms. Okay, QAF, QRF. Okay, so so QAF means associated with actual frequency. Okay, actual frequency is called as QAF, and RF means relative frequency. Q stands for the query. Okay, so query actual frequency and query relative frequency, and actual frequency of a database, individual database. Okay, and relative frequency of relative frequency of an individual document, and this is talks about the inverse document frequency plus RFAD. RFAD means relative frequency of all documents. Based on this expression also, your probability is going to be get solved so as to identify this particular term how many times appear in a document. So log, we do use here log so as to get the normalized input or a reduced value. Okay, so this is what about the, and then finally this log of relevance of the particular query is going to be get evaluated by specifying this constant. Minus 5.138 is a constant, and the summation of zj means zj here we have calculated already. Okay, so this expression is called as zz, which talks about the relative frequency for query, relative frequency for the document, and relative frequency of all documents, as well as its actual frequencies. So depends on to that, some conclusions can be get obtained, and you can able to apply this logit technique, but it is not that much giving you the correct solution. Okay, so further we are having, apart from this probabilistic approach, vector approaches, so that we will discuss tomorrow, guys. Okay, so today we have discussed probabilistic approach in the statistical indexing. So probability approach is based on to the number of occurrence of the term. With this formulas we can able to solve it. Okay, for the query QI and document DJ, how much is the relevance? Relevance means correctness or accuracy of the particular term in the document can be get traced out. So which has been given here with this two or three formulas, and further one of the another technique also used is by making use of these formulas of relative frequencies, okay, and actual frequencies. So we will stop here. Having 11 o'clock one more class. Okay. So yeah, we'll go to attendance quickly.